Hi, this is Dominic from Paphos Life, and in today's film we're driving from Killy to Tala via a picturesque route. So here's the map of the entire area, and first of all we're driving through Killy itself, which is no mean feat, as you'll see. Then we're taking the first turning from Killy down into Tala via Kamares, and that will bring us out at the point where we would have come on the Adonis Baths film we did recently. Then we go to Tala. So I thought it would be nice to actually link up with other films so that you get a bit more of an idea where everything is in relation to each other. Now, coming into Killy, you're in for a bit of a shock because they're repairing the roads there in the centre, and rather than go at it a road at a time, they seem to adopt the strategy used in a lot of villages where they replace them all at once. So I guess it means you get the job done a lot more quickly, but it means there's a lot more disruption. And when I say disruption, you're not prevented from going down roads, but you just have to appreciate that they're very, well, it's a building site, basically. And obviously we're not there yet, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Now, personally, I like Killy. It's on the top of the hill above Paphos, just above Tala. According to Wikipedia, it was built at an altitude of 580 metres in a landscape divided by the Maverick River. Killy is a relatively large settlement built with stone from the quarry of the area that is not currently in operation. Here, apart from the well-groomed old and modern houses, locals cultivate vineyards with grapes of the wine-making varieties, grains, citrus fruits, vegetables, almond and carob trees, which are thriving. Population of about 460, with 25 non-Cypriot families living there. Situated 9 kilometres from Paphos and 33 kilometres from Polis, and we're just about to enter the roadwork area. There you go. So you've got to take your time when you're driving through this. It is open to traffic, but you just have to be prepared to wait in case a bulldozer's trundling past or a car's coming in the opposite direction. See, I thought that van was going to come at me, but it went straight on there. If you carry on straight down this track, it's closed off now, but if you go down there normally when it's open, that will take you down to a lovely little gorge and a Venetian bridge, which I featured in previous articles. And some people never seem to be able to find it, but that's how you go get to it. The other trails here, you can follow them, but you may end up halfway down a very steep hill, having to do a bit of reversing, so you're better off staying on the main road unless you know what you're doing. Right, we survived the roadworks. And we'll be taking the first turning for Tala. Not these ones, these are just into a local housing estate. But because there are two routes down, the more commonly used one is the one that goes straight down to Tala. But if you're coming from Killy, you can take this one instead, and I think it's a lot more picturesque. I mean, they're both very nice, but I think this one has the edge. Plus it shows you a bit more of Kamares itself. Here I'm letting the rather large lorry pass me. He flashes his lights in thanks. You should always give way to the big lumbering lorries, because as a rule they tend to be very gracious when they're going up hills, and they'll pull over to let people pass, or they'll wave people through when the road's clear. So it's nice to reciprocate when you can. But you've got lovely countryside now. Imagine what it's like in springtime when it's all green as well. And remember, if you like our content, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, as it really does help YouTube promote us. And if you want to help us financially, then go to our paphoslife.com/coffee page, and you can either send us coffee or click on one of the affiliate links. Weather-wise, I filmed this Saturday morning fairly early, and it was nice and sunny. There was a bit of rain in Palermi. I say a bit, I mean a tiny bit. And it was a bit cloudy back there, because at the moment, if it's bright sun, I need to stick basically a pair of sunglasses on my camera when I'm driving, because otherwise everything just gets white and dazzled. But today I didn't. They're not literally a pair of sunglasses. It's called an ND lens, 8 if you want the number. And but basically, I didn't put them on today because of the cloud that was behind us. The only annoying thing about using an ND filter is that you then have to put a lot of the settings on manual, which means they're fixed for the duration of the film, which is only an issue if you go from like bright light to a lot darker. Anyway, that's all technical stuff that you don't really need to know. But there's relatively dust free today, which is nice. Now, when I was Googling for information on Killy, I came up with the literal translation of it is hollow. I'm not sure why Killy would be called hollow, but it could refer to, I don't know, a hollow in the ground, because I know next to it there's an area called Paradise and Hell, which has a very tiny, deep gorge in it, which I referred to earlier. Perhaps it's referring to something like that, or perhaps I've got completely the wrong end of the stick. Anyway, we're coming into Kamares, and Google translated that as to mean arches. Now that makes more sense to me in terms of the translation, because there is a Kamares aqueduct up near Larnaca, and one thing that's got an abundance of is arches. But why Kamares village here would be called arches, I have no idea. It's a nice drive, and as I said, it'll bring us out on the road we took if you saw the last drive to Adonis Baths, and then coming out of Adonis Baths up into Tala, when we hit tarmac again, that'll be at this spot. So if you're wondering on that film what was to the left, you'll know soon enough. Very nice houses in here. It's a very pretty area. Now, based on what I just said, you might think, oh, I'll hot foot here, and when I retire to Cyprus, I'll go and buy a house there, etc. Now, you may think that may work out, but what you should do before anything like that is to visit the place numerous times of the year and of the day and night before making any decision like that. Don't buy a place just based on your seeing it on a film, or say like when you visited during a nice sunny day in the middle of June, because conditions will vary. I'm not trying to put you off Kamares. That's the same would apply to anywhere. It applied to Polemi where we live. Even applies to somewhere like Universal. But I'm not going to go into a big long discussion on property purchasing. Right, up here is the turning that you'd have come from Adonis Baths. So we're basically on the same bit of film now that we were on previously, on a previous film. And we're now in Kamares. So what information can I give you about Kamares? Well, I went onto their Facebook page first of all and I noticed that they had a website, kamaresvillage.com. And it seems to be controlled by Leptos Estates, which is a big property company in Cyprus. And this is what it says. Kamares Village is one of the most exclusive developments in Cyprus and is amongst the most distinctive in the Eastern Mediterranean. The project is characterised by its delicate stone arches and superb location with breathtaking views of the countryside and Paphos coastline. Well, those arches would explain the name then, wouldn't it? Kamares Village has obtained prestigious international real estate awards and prides itself on being more than just an exclusive villa development. Kamares Village is a community where social life revolves around the events of the Kamares Club, whatever that is. The community's freehold villas are set within a country club atmosphere for discerning people who wish to reap the rewards of a Cyprus Mediterranean lifestyle. The use of stone, wood and arches typify the landscape, whilst swimming pools, barbecues, sun terraces and even private tennis courts add luxury to the Mediterranean outdoor lifestyle. Well, all that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And I did say as I was driving through it from the start that it did look very pretty, so they weren't wrong there. Now, I'd be interested to hear from anyone who actually lives in Kamares to see if it's anything like that. So leave a comment. It certainly looks nice. But now we're approaching the Tala end of Kamares. Suppose I could look up what it says about Tala as well, or I could save that for another film. It's surprising though, coming from this route, how big the whole area is. Because I normally, if I'm coming from Killy, I normally go the other route, which goes closer to Tala, just because it's quicker. But there's quite a bit more to it than you might first realise. And it's easily signposted to get to Paphos from here, just follow the road around. If we'd taken the other route from Killy, we'd be coming out there. So yes, this is the part of the road where it's got the Kamares Village sign up, I think. In there somewhere. It's on the left. So we'll take it as meaning that this from now on is Tala. We'll be coming up to the main roundabout soon. And this time I'm going to be driving through the village centre itself rather than staying on the main road, just so you can see, because the village centre is a lot nicer in terms of what to see when you're filming. But if you're desperate to get to Paphos, you go straight down there. We're going this way. This road does meet up with that road eventually. It's just this takes us through the centre. And here's the central square, and there's a roundabout here which I'll do a full loop of just so you can see all of the area. I'd say it's very pretty here. A couple of taverns. And now we go back on to the main road. Okay, that's pretty much it for this film. We're going to be driving down as far as Security Absolute Services Limited, and we'll stop there. So a big hello to them. The site advertises.